We are talking royals, and our royal editor Russell Myers joins me now from Belize, where Kate and William, they kicked off their royal tour over the weekend. Russell, great to see you. Kind of started well, and then it got a bit rocky. Can you talk us through what it's been like for both of them?
Yeah, I think that's right. Good morning, Lorraine. Well, I kicked off the tour on Saturday, long-awaited tour of the Caribbean for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and I was lucky enough to be on the plane with them on the RAF Voyager taking off from Bryce Norton on Saturday. But they landed to a bit of a storm because on Friday there had been some protests in Belize. A local indigenous group were not very happy. Look at those signs. There was a sign saying, "Get off our land, Prince William." So they were small in number but mighty in voice, and they were sort of complaining that they hadn't been notified of the tour taking place. They didn't want the helicopter landing on their land. However, Prince William and Kate got on with the job, and yesterday we went to a fantastic coastal resort of Hopkins, which is known as the happiest place in Belize. And if you can see these images of them dancing, they were having an absolutely fantastic time. Kate was throwing herself into it, William getting down with some shapes as well. And they were having a great time. They went to a cocoa farm, tasting some of the local chocolate, which I've had, and it is absolutely delicious. And today we're going to some Mayan ruins. William is going into the jungle to meet some British soldiers who are stationed out here. So it has been absolutely jam-packed. Tomorrow we're off to Jamaica for a couple of days, and then we will be going to the Bahamas on Thursday. So there is an awful lot to look forward to on this tour, and certainly they're going to be talking about the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, going to all the realms, and shoring up some support for the monarchy, which is really, really important for the royal family.
Yeah, no, of course. It's very interesting about that small protest, though. I mean, that didn't seem to reflect the rest of what's going on, but it will be interesting to see what happens to him in the rest of the tour. I guess, though, they've just got to keep smiling and dancing and just kind of ignore it, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it could have overshadowed the tour, and there was a bit of nervousness, certainly from the palace end. I mean, they were saying it was just a bit of a mix-up between the communications between the local government and the local people. It does seem to have sort of been brushed aside now, because the local people have come out and said, it was a bit of a misunderstanding. As I said, small in number but high in voice, but there is plenty to look forward to. And listen, like those, you saw those images of them dancing, they threw themselves into it, and the people were absolutely loving them here in Belize, which is just a beautiful, beautiful country from what we've seen so far.
It really does. With Kate, though, there's always an awful lot more to what she is wearing than meets the eye. It's more than just a pretty frock, isn't it? There's always sort of symbolism in what she wears.
Well, there is. I mean, it's actually fascinating when you go to these tours, sort of the subtle references to the nations that they're visiting. And yesterday she wore a dress which had the colours of Belize, the red, white and blue. You can see it there. And it is something that she's been doing quite a lot recently, because the subtle nods to the Ukrainian people in support of what is the tragic conflict, what's going on in Ukraine at the moment. We saw her wearing blue to the Commonwealth Day service last week. They were visiting a Ukrainian community centre as well. And I think people get quite interested in Kate's fashion. Yesterday, she was wearing a pair of earrings, which were from a high street brand in France called Cézanne, which were only £55, and they are still available, which is unbelievable, because normally when she wears something from the high street, it goes out like hotcakes, so you can still get your hands on them, I'm told.
It really does. Now, look, you're inside, I'm presuming you're inside your little hotel room, but obviously you would be getting out and about and getting some sunshine as well.
Yeah, well, I wanted to come to you from a beautiful Caribbean beach, but unfortunately it's 3 a.m. here, Indeed. So you'd just be seeing darkness. But
exactly.
Yeah, those images that you saw yesterday, I mean, we're hoping for much more of that, because this is an absolutely beautiful part of the world.
It really is, and they're focusing, they're bringing people's attention to it, which is good. Now, you talked about the fact that, there's symbolism in what Kate's wearing, a nod in the direction of Ukraine. And we also hear that there just might be room inside some royal palaces for some Ukrainian refugees. What are you hearing?
Well, this is really interesting, because the the palaces, or the royal family's palaces, are huge in number and huge in size. So they obviously have an awful lot of rooms. And there was a bit of pressure during the week when the Belgian royal family said that they were willing to take in groups of refugees into the royal palaces. So, so me and my colleagues were speaking to the palaces, and they said they are looking at practical solutions of what they can do. And that will involve potential jobs, training within the royal household. However, I understand that Prince Charles is very keen to house some Ukrainian refugees in Dumfries House in Ayrshire. Could the Queen follow suit? Because she obviously has a couple of private houses in Sandringham in Norfolk. She's also got the huge Balmoral estate. So it's something that the royal family are going to look into. It might not be so practical to house them in Buckingham Palace. It's still having an awful lot of refurbished work done. However, this would be a fantastic way for the royal family to actually do something practical, and I think something that the whole country would get behind.
No, absolutely. You mentioned Balmoral there, and we saw a photograph of it. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. But the Queen, we understand, is going to be spending a lot more time there. We know how much she loves her holidays in the summer up in Scotland, and she loves sort of like going for long walks and barbecues in the rain and all that sort of stuff. She's tough. She's a tough lady. But yeah, she might be spending more time there, Russell.
Well, a really interesting story, because we know, as you just said, that the Queen absolutely adores Scotland, loves doing her summer holidays up there. However, there's another lodge on the Balmoral estate, which is absolutely vast, and Craiggowan Lodge has been having a lift fitted. Now, this lift can accommodate a wheelchair. We're told it's not necessarily a wheelchair lift, but it's being put in for the Queen's comfort. Of course, we've seen her in recent weeks sort of struggling with her mobility. She was forced to cancel the Commonwealth Day appearance at Westminster Abbey last week. She's really, really hoping to make the Prince Philip Memorial back at Westminster Abbey next Tuesday. Absolutely determined to make that. But I think these two things come hand in glove, because she has been sort of suffering from those mobility issues. She definitely wants to go up to Scotland, bit of fresh air. I think it's all about keeping the Queen safe and well, and I hope she does get to make that Westminster Abbey event next week, because obviously it's a fantastic occasion to honour Prince Philip, because we didn't sort of get to, the nation didn't get to share in his funeral, and it'll be a big goodbye, which the royal family will be getting behind, I'm sure.
Russell, thank you so much for joining us. We would have loved to have seen some beaches, but of course, as you said, it is 3 a.m, so maybe not such a great idea. But enjoy the sunshine in the next stage of the tour. We'll be talking to you throughout the week. Thank you for now.
Cheers, Lorraine.
Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub, and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.